What's up, guys? Zayd here with a high-rated Duel Book replay for you. Sven with 1165 rating wins the rock, paper, scissors, shoot. He's against, I don't know how to pronounce this, Duel Inteno Abu. I'll just call him Duel. He's against Duel with 1500 rating. And Sven is probably going first, unless he's like playing a go in second deck. Also, I forgot the full screen. Problem solved. Looks like Phantom Knight against Dragon Link. But looking at Dragon Link's hand, it's really cool already. So he's got Levy, the Chaos Creator, Thunder Dragon Dark, Rocket Synchron, and Melody of Awakening Dragon. So a very, very interesting opening hand. Playing a lot of cards you don't really see in this deck. So it looks more like it's 60 cards too. So I guess like a 60 card Chaos pile. I don't know if Dragon Link is a fair name for it. We'll learn as the match goes. You guys know whatever I decided to call it because you saw the title already. And then against Duel's opening hand of Torn Scales, Fogblade, Tour Guide, Fogblade, and Shade Brigadine. This is a kind of sad hand because there's no going second cards. And also, like, obviously there's no going second cards in Sven's hand either. So, like, Summon Tour Guide would just be full combo. But if he was, like, playing against someone with hand traps and he summons Tour Guide and it gets interrupted, all he has is another starter. He goes, like, Fogblade, or Torn Scales summon. This is not going to be doing anything. So these kind of cards are weird to draw in conjunction because they're both really starters and can't really extend. But luckily he didn't go first. We don't got to worry about that. And we just get to see what this Dragon player does with what honestly, after talking for a second, seems like it might be a subpar hand. Depends on what Melody can search. So he's going to Melody pitch the Dragon Dark. And he's going to add Levy and Chaos Emperor, the Dragon of Armageddon. Normal summons Rocket Synchron. Sends that to grave to summon Striker Dragon. Striker's going to search himself the Boot Sector launch. So he's got 2 Darks in grave. This takes 3. What does this take to summon? A Light and a Dark. This is a Light and a Dark, and this takes 3. So this might be unplayable. If he can't do anything past the search, I think he misplayed. Because he could have went Dragon Dark, search Dragon Dark, if he plays 2, and then pitch the Dragon Dark for this, and then do this, and it would have left him with 3 Darks in grave. So here he could Levy, rip a card from hand, and then link the Striker and the Levy into the Hieratic. And so if he has no play here, he could have done that. That's important to note. This also maybe... Yeah, this only targets banished dragons. So I think he might literally just be like passing here. He's just looking at everything he has. Can I do anything? And can't do anything. So I don't think that what he had available would have been enough. Depending on what he sniped off of the Levy, I don't think it would have been enough to win this. But he definitely could have done more than what he did. But here we're probably going to see Tour Guide just be enough to end the duel on its own. Tour Guide gets Graph, Special Wielder, and yeah, Sven just scoops it up. Luckily, that means we'll get to see him go first again game 2, and I want to see if his deck does anything crazy. Alright, he opens way better here. Small World, Nessie, Gamma, Awakening, Tracer. Oh, but he's against Droll, Ancient Cloak, Fogblade, Silent Boot, E-Telly. So now he opened pretty crazy, but there's a Droll. But he has Gamma to counter it. So if he leads with Awakening, pitch, Nessie, Awakening is going to resolve on a new chain, Nessie 1, Droll 2, Gamma 3. And that'll just be disgusting. Oh my god, this is... And then the Gamma driver is probably going to make the Chaos Ruler. This game's probably over. That's my prediction here. He's going to drop Droll and Gamma. Oh my god. And so yeah, now Droll's negated. Gamma's going to be Synchro material. And he gets to resolve the Nessie grabbing Jackalope. Jeez. Normal Tracer, go into Striker. He probably wants to do all the searching he needs to do now. That way, if he makes Chaos Ruler here, he doesn't risk milling those cards. Striker, tribute itself, add back Tracer. And then make the... Oh, he's making Savage here. And that's why he did the Striker right there, so he can equip it. That guarantees him a negate. And then he also has Light and Darks for Levy, for the Chaos Emperor. I want to read what this does. Pay half your life, send as many cards you control as possible to the graveyard. And if you do, send cards your opponent controls to the graveyard. So he's not going to use that effect. He might just special it as an extender. He's going to play the Boot Sector. Boot Sector for Tracer. Tracer effect, pop, special, the 4. Now maybe here he goes for the Chaos Ruler. Yeah, I'm guessing he just did this first because it gives him the ability to play through Nib. And he already played through Droll, so that's the only other high impact hand trap he really has to worry about. Also Lancia, this could stop a Lancia. But if he had Lancia when he summoned this, he would have chained it. We're going to see him mill 5, and the mills kind of, I'd say they sucked, but adding Black Dragon Collapse Serpent's kind of insane. But the other 4 cards are garbage. They're just spells. But at least he didn't mill anything that he needed, you know? Like, it could have been worse. Summon Levy, rip from hand. What's he going to hit? Hits the E-Telly. That's not bad for him. And then this, I think, lets him add a Banished Dragon back. Pay 1,000, destroy it, add a Tracer back. Small World, get rid of Jackalope. Oh, I guess they're arguing about, what's it called? They're arguing about this. This guy doesn't know how pendulums work, apparently. This dude's 1,500 rating and doesn't know how pendulums work. Oh, he didn't know, he didn't know how the effect of that monster in particular worked. It wasn't that he didn't know how a pendulum worked, but they cleared that up. Jackalope. Reveal Jackalope with Small World. Reveal Nessie. Search Thunder Dragon Roar. Banishing Jackalope and Nessie. Then he's going to link 2 into Anaconda. Oh, he said didn't normal yet, right? He did normal. He normal summoned Tracer. So he's about to cheat on accident. Activate the Chaos Ruler. F Roar, all caps. Roar summons out Dark. Banish special. Link 2 into IP. And then black search white. Dark search. Dark search regular Thunder Dragon. Thunder Dragon effect, search Thunder Dragon. Thunder Dragon effect, search Thunder Dragon. Then banish 2. Whoa, this can bring itself back from banished? What? Correct. Overlay for the Sanafon, the Sky Prison. This card's kind of weird to me. This card, I think it says like neither player can special monsters from the graveyard. I feel like maybe a Zombie Stein would just be more relevant to summon here. But that's just me. Like, I feel like I'd rather have the 1 negate, especially in a board like this. Because I don't think this is going to stop much in this matchup. There are cards it stops, clearly, but they would never get to those cards if you have the additional negate. Because you're going to have hard negate, hard negate. This is probably going to make either an Alpalooza or a Unicorn. So, hard negates or interruption. And then this is, I'm assuming DPE, possibly Dragoon. But either a hard negate or just another interruption. Yep, looks like DPE. And this is kind of cool that he's playing the Mally. Because on his following turn, Mally's an extender for him. So we see the DPE on board. He's going to activate the effect of this boy. I don't know why he's using the effect of it. Oh, I see. Because it's your opponent's next turn. That'll keep him safe from stuff, I guess. Draws Droll, which is kind of useless here. Sets a Fog Blade, normals Ancient Cloak. Specials Boots. He's thinking here. Will DPE pop one? Probably, and like be happy doing it too. DPE is gonna pop itself in the back row. That's interesting. And then on res, IP effect. Goes into Unicorn, pitch Thunder Dragon spin, and the opponent just scoops up. So now I got game 3 with the Phantom Knight player going first. Draws Tour Guide, Boots, Jackalope, Droll, Fusion Destiny against Driver, Rocket, Synchron, Droplet, Mally, Quick Launch. This is interesting. So, like, Sven has Droplets for going second to help clear board. Plus, he's got, like, Mally, Quick Launch for free discards because he can just go Quick Launch, chain Droplet, send Quick Launch, send Mally, send Driver, negate an entire board. But depending on his last card, this still might not really be combo. Whereas opponent has Fusion Destiny and Droll, so even if they had interruptions like for these starters, they were still going to have good follow-up with a DPE and then drolling the opponent. And then Jackalope, Boots, and Tour Guide. Although, if he doesn't have a way to discard Jackalope, like if he can't get to Torn Scales, then this Jackalope has a chance of hitting the Droll, which would kind of suck. But he's going to lead with Tour Guide, which... So here, if Tour Guide got an answer used on it, you just set Fusion Destiny and then use Jackalope, and it's not that bad if you hit Droll, because if you do, you're still playing the game, whereas you wouldn't have been otherwise. But because this is going to be just full combo, he's going to probably get to send Fogblade. Yeah, because Graph is going to special Seer, and then this can probably just send the Boots. Not Boots, Torn Scales. Or, see, he'll send the Ragged Gloves, and then he'll make the Bardiche. Then Bardiche will probably send Torn Scales. It's just my guess. Yeah, so Bardiche effect. Send Torn Scales, set Fogblade. Then Boots banish to send. Sending Cloak. And then Torn Scales will proc, specialing. Torn Scales, pitch Jackalope. He's living the dream right here. Send Wings, special Tsuchinoko. Banish Cloak, search Greaves. Dude's just popping off. Summon Levy effect. Bring back Cloak. Link 2 into Artifact Dagda. Cloak effect, Dagda effect. What does Cloak do on board? So he's going to give that 800 attack by changing himself to defense. That's just to proc the Dagda to ensure he's got Scythe. Because now if he gets like nibbed anywhere, he still has Fusion Destiny Scythe no matter what interruption he gets hit with. We'll see the Break Sword come down, and then Rusty's effect is going to pop the Break Sword. So both those guys will come back level 4. And so now the Break Sword is loaded engraved to be able to pop the Scythe, but he's also going to get to link or overlay with these. He's going to go into Redoer. And then Boots, search Fogblade. Then here the Fusion Destiny will come down. This Redoer is kind of cool too, because if he had the nib, he could just chain Redoer, get out of there, and then he'd still have that on the next turn to have to deal with too. So a lot of these interrupts seem like fine through nib, which is kind of cool. DPE comes down, like if he nibbed before DPE, he'd still have DPE, and if he tries to nib after DPE, he just chains it, pop itself in something else. So, like, there wasn't really a huge spot to nib him, I don't think. Draws Lancia for the 6th. That kind of sucks. Standby phase, he activates Redoer. Chain Launch. Chain Droplet. This could be fine. So he has to negate Bardiche, DPE, and Redoer. Because if he doesn't negate the Bardiche also, he banishes this for this and still has Scythe. But he's going to send Quick Launch, Driver, and Mally. Please tell me he sends the Mally too. No, what? Chain Fogblade on Enforcer. Chain Enforcer. Yep, and the opponent just scoops. I feel like, let me think about it. So he could have let Redoer resolve. But if Redoer resolves and then he activates the trap to special Break Sword, summons Break Sword here, Bardiche would trigger to attempt to destroy Scythe. If he droplets there, same thing, Fogblade DPE. And then So he shouldn't do it there. So then let it summon, let it pop Scythe, bring Scythe out, Scythe effect, but then still chain Droplet, negate Scythe, chain Fogblade, chain DPE, pop Scythe. And you can't use Lancea on your own turn. Yeah, it looks like Droplet just doesn't out this board. You need Droplet and something else. Or you need a hand trap to make the board not as strong. So that's kind of interesting to know. And this deck was really cool to see. Albeit game one, I think he could have played a little bit better. I don't know his extra deck for sure, or his main deck for sure, but I think he definitely could have went dark for dark. And then pitch, do the shenanigans, make a levy, and at least rip a card and then have an interruption instead of having nothing. But game two, he played really well. His end board was really, really cool. And in game three, I don't think there was a single way he could have played through this. Like, if he would have drawn Lancea instead of Mally and been able to use Lancea on his opponent's turn, and then drew into the Mally, used the Mally as discard fodder with the Droplet to break whatever board he did manage to put up, it could have been a different game, but it wasn't. And this dude took it with Phantom Knight. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.